You don't want your son to smoke cigar, but you send him go and buy. You don't want your son to be a drunk, you say go and buy drink.
Hard drugs are drugs that are also called psychoactive substances. They are drugs that actually affect people's moods, people's way of thinking.
Do not use your hand to buy something that will kill you.
Every drug is a poison generally, so it depends on what you use it for.
Some of them, when they're already addicted, they will do anything to buy that drug. They don't even mind killing somebody and sell and buy drugs.
Looking at parents, looking at the family, so you have to have an open discussion about substance abuse and everything.
This kind of thing I eat, this kind of food I take, this thing I'm doing, is that the right thing?
My name is Odedinogbenro. My question is, how can one put an end to drug addiction? And taking someone to rehabilitation center, is it free?
My name is Peace Benedict. In what ways does youth indulgence in hard drugs contribute to crime rates? Thank you.
My name is Grace Williams. My question is, how effective is the regulation of drug usage, but it is still in use in excess?
My name is Adebi Kende. How can the people who like what we call enjoyment in drug, even if it is, let me take little, stop it without hurting each other?
My name is Ogenesume. My question is, what is our role as individuals to reintegrate those who have been rehabilitated back into the society?
A lot of questions already from the audience. Please, our guest.
All right, so before I address these questions, I want to talk about the stages of substance abuse, you understand? So there are stages to it. So you have a young man who has a party to attend and a friend meets him and says, yeah, taste this. Or you have a young man who just lost the job, who lost some money. Oh, take this, it's going to calm you down, it's going to help you sleep. Or you have someone who lost their parents or something and giving them, that's the experimental stage, and that's the best stage to actually stop, not to even go into it. Because like I said before, when there is willpower, when you are able to hold yourself, when there is proper training, your morality should help you to say, no, what is this? What am I taking? What is this? And stop. Now, after experiments, there is the acceptance. Now, if that person actually took that stuff like cannabis, took 1 puff or 2 puffs, after like a few days, can call his friend again. What was that thing you gave me again? It helped me sleep. It helped me eat. Please, I want it again. That's that point of acceptance. And after the point of acceptance is now the point of intense use, where the person now goes and even source it by himself, or goes to places where his friends are usually taking it. And because cannabis is so cheap around here, I like the Igbo brand. There are several brands of it. So the Igbo brand is so cheap. A wrap can be as cheap as 100 naira. Even if you go to a joint where they take itself, if you don't have money, people can even buy it for you too and say, take. You understand? It gets to that intense use where you now start ordering it, you start buying it, buying different levels. They will now deceive you and say that some of them are not, that will not cause you psychosis, will not cost you this, and then you buy Canadian loud, buy different, at different prices. Can go from 100 naira to even a wrap can go to like 5,000 naira above. Then you now go to the level of dependence where you don't now have control over it anymore. And that's when you are now feeding the withdrawal symptoms and not even just getting high again. People have gotten to that point where when they don't use it like this, they start feeling somehow. They now take it to calm themselves down. You are no more getting the highness, but you are now trying to feed. And that point is a chain link. It's a cycle. It's difficult to stop except you seek help at that point. And the truth is that you don't even know when to seek help a lot of times. So usually when I have clients come to me, I tell them, when you have a fracture on your leg, how do you know? It's the brain that tells you. If you have a runny stomach, how do you know? It's the brain that tells you. But when the brain is sick, who tells the brain that the brain is sick? It's people around you that are able to now hold you down and take you to the hospital. So addressing the questions, I want to go to the first question. How can one put an end to drug addiction in case of lack of funds? And so the truth is that firstly, we're supposed to stop it at that point. At that point, prevention, they say, is better than cure. So stop it before it gets to the point of no return, before it gets to that point. And if you're going through stress, like I said before, it could be peer pressure, it could be stress, it could be work stress. You're going through stress, find somebody to even talk to about it. Oh, I'm going through stress, I'm going through this. Or look for healthy coping mechanisms, like going to, some people go to fellowship, some people go to church, some people join some hobbies, go to do exercises, join some football clubs, anything just to distract yourself, because there's too much stress in this country. You understand?
So taking drugs is not the answer. It's not. I'm not sure at all.
So there are so many other things that one can get involved. You can get involved in meditation. Just do some yoga, do some meditation, take deep breathing exercise when you're under stress and tension. But it's around that time that people are,
that temptation comes around you.
Exactly. So how can one put an end to it? The best time to put an end to it is now. Then about when you now get to that point of rehabilitation, there are different levels to rehabilitation. You understand? There's the government-owned rehabilitation centers. There's the private-owned rehabilitation, and then there's the teaching hospital, where the kind of place I work, rehabilitation center. So the government-owned a lot of, like, Lagos State has done a lot of work on rehabilitation. There are open places. There are places where they pick people who need help, take them. Some places are Ikorodu, and maybe around a beggar area, there's another center there too. You pay little to nothing to actually be admitted. They just have to get your medications and all that. So people or family can just take their people to. But problem with it is that it's overflooded. The place is overloaded with a lot of people. People are on the queue to even join that. Now going to the level of maybe other private facilities, but it can be quite pricey, because you know how the economy is. You have to get fuel. You have to, depending on how comfortable you want this to be. And the rehabilitation takes a long time. The rehabilitation, you can't talk about rehabilitation without getting to up to 3 months of rehabilitation.
Or even 6 months, or more than that.
Or more than that. So it's a lot of funds and a lot of hands that it can be very expensive. And the teaching hospital is usually when people have gone psychotic, when people have gone intoxicated and psychotic, that's when we have to first take care of the psychosis. And while taking care of the psychosis, we are also helping the patients to get better. So the second question is, in what ways does your youth indulgence in drugs contribute to crime rate? Now, in several ways. So when people use substances, they lose, their perception is disturbed. So they feel on top of the world, they feel that they can do anything, and then they see a woman carrying her car, and then they tell, come and stop that car, and then control you, take away that car and drive. Now, there are different levels to it. Even sometimes looking for the money to. So a lot of them, when I see clients and then I'm trying to ask them, how do you fund your drug use? They say, oh, from my pocket money, from this thing. And then it gets to a point because these things are quite expensive. They start selling their things. They could sell their wristwatch. They sell their phones. And then from there, it gets to stealing, carrying things in the house, sell it to buy Aboki. To buy drugs, giving their school. I've got an example where school fees.
Yes.
People use their school fees to buy drugs just because they want to just get some calmness or satisfaction from the use of substances. So those are some of the ways that it can actually increase crime rates. And the third question: how effective is the regulation of drug usage, but it's still prevalent in? So the truth is that the government has tried its bit. I would say that people are trying their best to do so many things, but we're not doing it enough. We're supposed to talk about drug abuse because we can't finish talking about it today. There are several ways. Do you know that addiction to drugs, what the effect a drug does to your system is more than what food can do to your system? And that's why, like, people can see, I've asked patients before, if you see food and drug, which one would you? They would rather take because of primacy, because of that it has gotten to that point, and there are levels to dependence. So let me talk about what they call dependence, or people call it addiction too. So you will know that people have gotten to addiction level when, one, they have uncontrolled urge to use the substance. They are always thinking about it. They're in class, they're thinking about, how do I get this substance? The second thing is there is withdrawal symptoms. When you've not used it for a long period of time, a person is shaking, getting irritable, sweating excessively, and depending on what drugs the person has used, you can get to the point of tolerance where you use one stick. Use one stick today and it was good enough for you, but tomorrow you might need up to 2 sticks to be able to get that same effect that you got yesterday. That's tolerance. Then it can get to that point where people have have difficulty in controlling substance use. Like they are not able to control it. And before they used to, is when they get home, they want to relax. They now take something and relax. Now, even at work, they take break from work and go out to go and smoke a bit, come back. And then inability to control substance taking behavior in terms of onset, termination, that's they can now use more than they used to use before at different points. And there's this like use of substance against as source of pleasure against other sources of pleasure. So sometimes some people would rather want to use substance and stay with their wife. Some people want to use substance and stay with their parents, and so on. And then the last one is use of substance despite evidence of consequences, that this thing is already causing you to faint, fall into gutter, and you are still using it. So when people have any of these characteristics, you know that this person has gotten to the addiction level and really needs help. So the next question is about how can people who like enjoyment reject drugs with without hurting each other? So it still bottles down to that willpower, actually. So when you've been trained well, when you've been educated well, you'll be able to know what to tell your friends and say, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I've not been taught to do this. I've not. And then if you can get it at that point, that's the best thing. You understand? I have to give you some statistics. About 20 million youths in Nigeria are on drugs.
Hey.
We have 70% of Nigerians are youths. And so that means about 25% of Nigeria is, or 20 to 25% of Nigerian people are on drugs. And then 1 out of every 5 person who is using drugs has a mental health problem already. So that means mental health problem is 1 out of, and one funny one is that 1 out of every 4 person who uses drugs is a woman. So women are not left out, actually. Women use drugs. Their kind of drugs might be different. For example, some of the drugs that are common in women it's actually an opioid, it's an injection. I don't usually like to say the name so that people do not go and indulge in it too. There's this drug that they give to you when you have just had a surgery, you had done a CS and everything, and you give you that injection to kill pain. A lot of times, some careless nurses or doctors might mention the name of this drug to people, and because that drug, apart from killing pain, also gives you some euphoria, some feeling of elatedness or anything, and then people now go ahead and say, oh, I'm still feeling pain again. Nurse, come and give me that injection again. And before you know it, they start injecting themselves and start developing ulcers and different things like that. So that's some of the statistics I wanted to give us. So after rehabilitation, what is the role of people to reintegrate people into the society against stigma? Now, the truth is that if a person has gotten proper rehabilitation, during the rehabilitation session, there's something they call motivational interviewing, where you sit the patient down and tell them, what is the advantage you've had from this drug? They'll tell you, oh, it has helped me to add weight, it has helped me to eat well, it helps me to sleep, I have ADHD. And my friend told me that when I use the drugs, it will calm the ADHD for me and make me more focused and everything. The truth is that some of these things are actually true. But the truth is, why using this? There are other things that I can actually help you without hurting you. So we now carry on and ask this person, so what are the things that it has cost you? It has cost you your relationship with people. It has cost you your money. It has cost you your job. It has cost you so many things. So usually the people will list them out. So what do you think you can do now to prevent yourself from going into it anymore? Then talk about it again. And then the psychologist will even go ahead and tell you, these are things you can do to prevent people from luring into it back again when you go to the community. These are the ways to behave so that you don't even, so you avoid places, the joints, you avoid this, you avoid that. You don't have to get to that point where you see people who are still using
even
it.
Avoid the friends.
Avoid the friends, totally cut off the friends. If you have talked to them and they still insist, because they will make jest of you. They'll be, oh, look at you, you get brain, your brain will fit carry on, this and that, and so on. And yes, you tell them, yes, my body. So you tell them, my body cannot carry it. I am different from, because every individual is different. You understand? So that this person he has been using for 20 years and nothing has happened to him does not mean that you can also use it and nothing will happen to you. So it's better you leave.
Some just want to test it, they'll run mad. Just once.
Yes,
that will show that you're being different from the other person.
There's this one they call colos.
Thank you, my nephew now.
So many of our youths know colos. Their clients have seen that took just one drag of it and they went crazy. You understand? And there are people that they would use it for several months or years before they break down, while some would use it so long and nothing will happen to them. You understand? So, but people are different. Genetic predisposition and so many other environmental factors could also have affected some of these people. How much damage has drugs done to people? Okay, how much damage does drugs do to the brain of people? So it's a lot. It depends on what stage. You see, and one of those drugs that is, we call it gateway drug. And then gateway, by the way, gateway drugs are drugs that are accepted by other people, but we don't know that they are drugs. Cigarettes and alcohol, they are very serious drugs. You understand? But people see it as, it's a drug of pleasure, it's a normal, and it's accepted. People go to the bar every evening.
Yes.
So, but the thing is that alcohol can damage the brain. It melts the cells of the brain. You understand? It melts the cells of the brain. It affects the liver. It affects you in every. In fact, when we talk about alcohol addiction, we look at the whole system from head to tail. It affects your sexual performance. People think that, when I use alcohol, it's a lie. It gets to that point when it now damages the system. You can't even do as much. It affects your gait, your way of walking, and you're walking
even
like
lose appetite now to eat food.
You understand?
Yes,
it prevents you from eating too.
Yes.
It reduces appetite, it takes away some micronutrients in the body and so on. And that's why it's important to talk about this discussion.
Welcome back. We are still discussing youth indulgence in hard drugs. Thank you, Victor. You really did a lot. In fact, I didn't even know that this abuse is as much as what I just heard now. Please, youth, help yourself. What we're doing here is not just I make the judge talk their own. No, it's not. It's for you, because these drugs, at the moment you start, you think nothing's going to happen. It's a slow killer. Gradually, you find yourself now taking money. If actually you take drug, for example, to enable you sleep for one day, then stop. If you're able to sleep, stop. But what we are saying is not even allowed. Sleep come on its own. You didn't sleep because your mind is disturbed because of what you are facing, yes. But when you like the doctor said, play around that one, talk to people, stay in other people's, company, and sleep will come, because the moment your mind relaxes, sleep will come. You don't even need to induce it, because taking this drug to induce you to make you sleep now is where the problem lies. From there now to come to a point of no return. Please just help yourself. All these drugs, they're very bad. I lost my nephew because of colos, and it's only when he died I knew there's something called colos. And one of the reasons why I want to bring it here, to let you people know. Because they say that whether he's 3 in the park, he took 2. Either he had been taking that before, that was the first time. But what do we see? So please, help yourself, help your parents. Parents also look at. Someone also said that it's important to know, when your children start receiving a package, a parcel, check what is in a parcel they are sending to your son or your daughter is receiving in your house. They may bring all this in their rooms. You may not even know. So please go to that extent to check what is in that parcel. Open it, let me see what's in a parcel. You still have right over your children, no matter their age. Even if they claim they are matured, they are both 18 years. You have right. They are still your children. So please help yourself, because this thing is a slow killer. So that we can have youths that are mindful, youths that are responsible, youths that will build a nation. Can you be a nation with alcohol? How can you be a nation when you don't even know where you are? Please, this is what we're saying. So, Dr. After said, what is your final
parting
words?
My parting word is this. I want to let parents especially know that you are the first person in this, you are the first person to find out that something is going on. And these are some of the signs. When you see a child that's become defiant, become stubborn about things, wanting his rights, I want my rights, I want to be able to do things on myself and so on, watch that child. It's possible that there's something going on. When you see a child who has dropped in academic performance just from like no reason, watch that child. There might be something going on. When you see a child that is now out there attending parties, coming back late at night, and so on, you think you're giving him freedom. It's no more that time that people used to go to disco and come back and nothing is happening. Yeah. Watch that child. In motivation, there's this motivation syndrome that comes because the cannabis, or especially cannabis, will make you relax. There's nothing happening. People miss exams. People miss their interviews and so on because they've used it. Gives that motivation syndrome where people are not, and they're not even ready to go to work anymore. They're not ready to. Nothing bothers them. Watch that child. It's possible that there's something going on, and that is the way to actually help that child at that point. Find out, watch him. What is he eating? What is he getting? What are the packages they are sending to him? What is he doing inside his room alone? When he's withdrawing to himself, not wanting to be involved with other people, just withdrawn to himself and just doing his own thing. It's possible that there's something going on. So get these children to talk to you. Get them to talk to you. What is going on in your life? What is going? Talk to them about different things, about drugs, about sex, about different things. Talk to them. Because another thing about it is that for youths now, there is this pressure for sexual performance and everything, and they feel that they need some of these things, MD, all those things to perform well. To perform well, and it is damaging.
Who told you that? System. That's deceit from the devil. It's pit of hell.
And the same way as drug abuse is the same way with gambling and so on. All those things are going rampant everywhere. It's now in our phones. We can order it. We can do different things. Please, let's be very careful at what our children are doing, because these children are the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Well, we have said it all. A word is enough for the wise. So, if you don't listen to us, you still want to live your life, it's your life. I can't judge those of you. But I believe my life is not in my hand. My life is in the hands of God. But if you say you want to live your life, you block your ears as I was telling you about this. Whatever you see, you take. That is truth of the matter. But we're saying, please, change for good. Change for good. Think about it again. Is this something really what I care for? This is what you go care about. So, and then live a better life. It's actually better for you to be civil, mindful at all times. So when they wake you up again, what do you say? You just repeat what he said. But you cannot ask a drunk what he said a few moments ago. Because he doesn't even know where he is. He didn't even know what he even said in the first place. So please, just help yourself as a young man. Why will you even allow yourself, your life to be ruined at this age? In the name of enjoyment, somebody say enjoyment. What kind of enjoyment is there? Enjoyment that you don't know, and in it, so-called enjoyment, you are now very dirty. You can't even bathe yourself. You don't even. And when somebody comes to your room, I don't know. I hear to call it enjoyment. Enjoyment that will kill you, destroy your liver, destroy your kidney. It may not be at that moment you started, but the moment you start going into it, you get to a point of no return. It's finished. Please help yourself for your own good. And you say, help yourself for your own good. All right. Having said this, I want to thank you again, Doctor, for being here, and production crew and executive producer, the audience here, and of course, viewers. Thank you for always joining us. I will stop appreciating our sponsors because they are really doing good. Like I said some time ago, that this program is 11 years non-stop on air. And I know that God continue to use them so that we can still continue to do what we're doing now to help the youths, because majorly for the youths. I'm so concerned about the youths because God bless me with also youths in my family as my own biological children. So I'm so concerned about the youth. All right, I invite artists Ayola Flows to sign up this program. Join us next week for another sweet edition. I am Ehili, your host, the praying mother of the nation. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Whatever I think, I could do it. Whatever I say.
My fears no side no more. Hold me back.
Sani Kamaru, Tabara Jobora Kamado Sajo. Rasta la Sani Kamaru, Tabara Jobora Kamado Sajo. Azumini mo asumo, ezi na fiya suicide no. Oh mi bade mo maleo. See, azumini mo asumo, ezi na fiya suicide no. Oh mi bade mo maleo.
Now my Ozumi I got it from my head like Oshuka. I don't know why I can't match that. If you know be Kaluba with be that. My love for Bolo me nigga see monkey be that. But I'm for replay DJ Jimmy that. Now money I no get talent for ya. I put it to the world me and I know that. Steady grinding every day to say that to my love. For pass everybody know why. I never get money I never satisfy. Now every day they pray make I roll my dice. Make I see the bushes before me I go by. For pass everybody know I never get money I never satisfy. Now every day they pray make I roll my dice. Make I see the bushes before me I go by.
Azumini mo asumo, ezi na fiya suicide no. Oh mi bade mo maleo. See, azumini mo asumo, ezi na fiya suicide no.